In this video, we're taking a look at Go Collect's hottest comics for the week of April 22nd, and all the books we got this week are total sleepers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, we're taking a look at Go Collect's hottest comics for the week of April 22nd. Now, for those who don't know, Go Collect puts out a weekly article that analyzes the hottest selling comic books based on movement and eBay sales data. So always really fun to take a look at this with you guys. And this week we have a lot of sleeper books, so that's really cool. But before I get into the article for today, if you guys could drop me a like or a comment or a subscribe if you're enjoying the content, help support the channel. Love interacting with you guys, do one of those things, and I would appreciate it. Also, just a little bit of other housekeeping. Last week, I did my very first live stream, which was kind of like a pilot run, a test run for the channel. And I do have the VOD on the channel. So if you guys want to kind of go back, if you didn't get a chance to stop in and take a look at it, see how I did, and let me know what you guys think. If you guys like live streams and you'd like me to see, me do more of them in the future. But with that said, let us now get into the topic for today. And that is, of course, this Go Collect article here, which of course is written by Matt Tuck, great contributor to Go Collect. I highly recommend that you guys check out his other work, and I will put a link to this article in the description in case you want to do further reading. But with that said, let us get into the article. And of course, it is hottest comics most wanted for 4/22. And I always like to go down and start here at the bottom. And this one is really interesting. This one is cool. And I feel like we've actually had this book on this Go Collect hottest comics before some months back. And this is actually Spawn number 8, up 935 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is that early 1990s Todd McFarlane Spawn run, except that this was issue number 8. And as you can see there right on the cover, I think the most special part about this issue is that this is the cover swipe of the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man number 1. And of course, this pose has gone on to be, a classic homage cover that many characters have done. We've seen Miles Morales do it. We've seen Spider-Gwen do it. We've seen other characters do it. And this one was, I think, probably the first time that Todd McFarlane had done this homage of his own pose in the Spider-Man number 1. Additionally, this is also the first appearance of a character known as Violator, which, doesn't show there on Go Collect, but Violator, again, I'm not super versed in the Spawn universe, but I do know that Violator, I guess, is one of the characters that fits within his particular lore. So that is also very, very cool. And this is a cool book. We all know that there's, a lot of excitement going on for Spawn. Of course, Todd McFarlane has announced that there is going to be a Spawn movie, and he himself is actually going to be directing it. Of course, we don't know how that's going to manifest. Will his artistic skills be able to translate to the big screen? Don't really know about that, but also it is rumored that Jamie Foxx, or not rumored, actually Jamie Foxx has announced that he is going to be playing Spawn. So that is very, very cool. Maybe for that reason, all of the Spawn books have been heating up, and for that reason, it is the 5th hottest comic of the week. But still, talking about Spawn here, this is actually the 4th hottest comic, which is Spawn number 6, up 938 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first appearance of a character known as Overt Kill. Now, again, like I mentioned in the previous book, I don't know too much about the Spawn universe. I do, however, own Spawn number 1, 2, and 3. So as far as my reading and understanding of the Spawn universe, it's gone that far. But in this one, apparently, this is the first appearance of Overt Kill. Matt does a great job just kind of explaining more of the significance of it. But, like I said in the previous book, of course, there's been a lot of excitement for Spawn. In fact, there's been a lot of excitement for, all of the 90s books, all this sort of era of Image, a lot of nostalgia going on. A lot of us, we all kind of grew up in that early comic book boom. So for us, even though a lot of this stuff was overprinted, we think very fondly of this stuff. So a lot of people wanting to get on the Spawn train. Maybe there's discussion that there's going to be some kind of Spawn cinematic universe. So we'll only have to wait and see. But for right now, this week, it seems like people are wanting to get their hands on these Spawn books. All right, let's go on now to the third pick here. And the third pick is really, really cool. This is New Mutants number 87, second print, up 941 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is the first appearance of Cable. That's right, the first appearance of Cable, except that this, in fact, is actually the second print. Now, for those who don't know, the first appearance of Cable came in the New Mutants run, number 87. And then later on in the New Mutants run, we would see the first appearance of Deadpool in New Mutants 98 and Domino as well. And, this little section of time, this like kind of New Mutants era has really, really blown up. These two characters have like really taken over the market as of late. With the success of Deadpool, the movie franchise, I mean, New Mutants 98 has gone through the roof. And additionally, because Cable was in it, I mean, we've seen New Mutants 87 really, really start to take off. So what usually happens in this crazy market when a lot of the books start to get priced above people's budgets? Well, they look to alternatives. And in this case, if you are a fan of Cable, there is luckily a second print for you to get your hands on. This, of course, is New Mutants number 87. And as you can see, the cover here has sort of this kind of gold yellowish background in comparison to the original book, which I believe has a orange, maybe reddish kind of background. So they were doing the second print. And, I'm not really sure if at this time, maybe this book was really, really successful early on when it was being sold in the late 80s, I believe it was. Perhaps that is why they decided to do a second print. I mean, let me know in the comments, actually. Are you one of those people who got this book off of the shelf? Was Cable as popular at that specific time? Is that why they made a second print? Let me know what your guys' experience was. But regardless, Cable's first appearance here, the New Mutants 87 second print, is the third hottest comic. And, this one is starting to heat up a little bit. I mean, you see here a 9.8 being sold here in April for just scratching that $100 mark. I mean, right? Pushing that $100 mark. So very cool that this book has been picking up. This is one that, you can kind of come across in dollar bins from time to time. Maybe people will sell it for like the $5, $10 range. But this is still a very, very cool book. And let me know what you guys think about second prints overall. How do we feel about second prints? Are they still the first appearance? One thing that I've noticed is that the second print of Carnage seems to really, really have maintained a lot of value. But it doesn't seem like the second print of Cable here has had that same kind of value, at least proportionally. So it's really interesting to think about that. And maybe it's time that the market, as indicated in this hottest comic article, is starting to catch up and want to pick up this book. All right, let's move on now to the next pick here. And the next pick is a very, very cool one. This is actually Shazam number 1, up 951 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, this is actually the first appearance of Shazam in DC Comics. And this one is surprising to me because, I'm pretty much blown away that this book is not more expensive than you would think that it would be. I mean, granted, this is a book that sort of came out, in the Silver Age. This is, 1973 we're looking at. So not necessarily as rare as some of those old Golden Age books, like we see with like the Supermans and the Batmans and the Wonder Woman type numbers. I mean, granted, Captain Marvel, otherwise known as Shazam, did make his first appearance in the Silver Age. So this would technically be his Silver Age first appearance. Or, I guess depending on the numbers, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe this is a Bronze Age actually appearance. I mean, it is a 20 center. But for that reason, I'm kind of surprised that this book is not more expensive or more desired. I mean, we just got the Shazam movie. And, for me personally, of all the DC movies that we got in this current sort of DCEU, if you will, I think the Shazam movie was maybe the best one of all of them. I mean, I don't know how you guys felt, but just to me as a standalone piece of work, it felt like that movie was the most successful at what it was trying to do. But that's just my opinion. But for that reason, I actually feel myself I actually became very fond of the Shazam character. I actually thought he was pretty cool because of that movie. And this is a book that I could see myself, if I want to, start dabbling into sort of the DC stuff, I could see myself wanting to jump on a book like this. I mean, you guys know that I picked up my first appearance of Captain America in the Silver Age. So I kind of like these books that are first appearance of said character in the Silver Age or Bronze Age or whatever, because, these Golden Age appearances have really, really, moonshot, if you will. It's so hard to get your hands on them that it's very unlikely that, if you're a collector on a budget, that you're ever going to be able to attain some of those books. But this one is very, very cool. And I'm surprised has not been as popular at least, in the last few weeks. But you can see here, first Captain Marvel in DC Comics, first appearance since Golden Age, and first Sivana family in DC Comics. Again, I don't know what that means, but apparently that's the thing. But I also do think that I believe that this is the first time we see sort of Superman and Shazam on a cover together. So that's another cool thing. I mean, this is just a very cool cover. Like, I mean, I'm rambling and talking about this a lot, but I'm actually pretty blown away. And so, let's dig into the numbers, and maybe you guys will be able to like mirror my sort of sentiment here, which, we see a 9.8 being sold back in March for $625. I mean, for a classic sort of like 8-tier character at a 9.8 for 1973, $625 does not sound crazy to me. I mean, that really doesn't. I mean, you can see here at 9.6 selling for 210, 9.4, 130, 9.2, 110. You can see there's a ton of sales here in April, but these are really, really affordable numbers. So maybe people just weren't aware, and that's sort of why this book is sort of shooting up recently or as of late. But again, something for me, not being too versed in the DC universe, just from an outsider perspective, this is a book that I'm actually pretty surprised is not more expensive. But hey, with articles like this, with videos like this, maybe people will start to jump on it. All right, let's move on now to the last book here. And the last book is actually a very, very cool one. This is Fantastic Four, number 72, up 954 spots. And what is the significance of this? Well, nothing, actually. There is no significance of this. I mean, okay, that's not actually true. There's no a sort of, I guess, log line that you could kind of pitch. Like, this is the first appearance of Silver Surfer, or this is the first appearance of the Watcher, or whatever it is. There's no specific significance to why this is the first appearance, but Matt does a great job talking about this. And this is something that I feel is very true to, sort of my own collecting interest. But this is just kind of a great Fantastic Four Silver Surfer cover. And we all know that the Silver Surfer books, 48, 49, 50, all of those have been so expensive over this last sort of cycle in the boom period. And so I think that that's kind of moved a lot of people out of the ability to kind of get their hands on these Silver Surfer books. So people are moving to other opportunities to find like great collector items for this character that, maybe they love, or maybe they're speccing on it because they know that Silver Surfer is going to come to the MCU. And when I look at this cover, I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, this is one of, this is an amazing cover to me. I mean, it's in a Fantastic Four title, but I love the fact that it says where soars the Silver Surfer. Look at how dynamic this pose is. Of course, this is a cover also drawn by Jack Kirby, I believe it is. So again, one of the reasons why you may want to get your hands on this, but I love the aesthetics. I love that the Watcher is kind of there in the background. And, I myself have, had a desire to pick up some of those Silver Surfer first appearances, but based on, my priorities, I just don't know if I'm ever going to get my hands on them. So I've considered a lot, think of in terms of thinking of like, what are some of the other Silver Surfer books that I can maybe pick up? And when I look at this one right here and I look at this cover, to me, it seems like a very obvious choice of something that I may want to pick up when I, want to have sort of a collector book as it pertains to Silver Surfer. But let's take a look at the numbers here. And you can see, I mean, there is a sale that was back in May of 2020, a 9.8 selling for $6,500, which is pretty crazy. I mean, this is, of course, a Silver Age book, a great, Fantastic Four title. 9.8, $6,500, nothing to sneeze at all. But we can see here, like, there's a lot of sales kind of in this high-ish mid-range grain where it's like in March, April, March, April. You can see right there. I mean, kind of in these sort of like very affordable number range, anywhere from like that $400 to $100 range. People are really starting to kind of jump on this book. And, in this current market, I understand why if people were wanting to get their hands on this, maybe some kind of speculative way, because, everything that touches these characters that have a presence on the screen seems to go up, even if it isn't their first appearance. If it is just a dynamic cover with a character who's very hot in the MCU, that the price of that book ends up going up. And I can only imagine that when we do get Fantastic Four and Silver Surfer in the MCU, when we do see these characters, this will just be one of those books that, even though it doesn't have necessarily a very clear significance, it is just a great cover. And for that reason, people are still going to want to jump on it. Anyways, that is all I have for this video. Those are the hottest comics for the week of April 22nd. Let me know what you guys think. A lot of different, sleeper kind of books on this one in this particular week. I'm not used to sort of seeing like classic first appearances usually making their way onto the article. I mean, this one, it's sort of like we got second prints, we got some obscure Spawn books, we got an obscure Fantastic Four one. I guess we got the Shazam one. I think that one is pretty cool. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have any of these books? Have you guys been hunting any of these books? What do you guys think of these like Spawn titles? What do you guys think of the second print debate? Is that still the first appearance of Cable? I mean, I consider it still the first appearance in a way. I mean, you can see right there, I got my second print of Carnage, so I'm a little bit biased because I consider that to still be the first appearance of Carnage. But let me know what you guys think. Drop me a like, comment, or subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will see you in the next video.